Hey, what's a coin that will turn your $1,000 into $100,000? Or even better, your $10,000 into $1 million? Welcome to the Altcoin Oracle channel, where I'm going to present you the coin which in my mind has the most potential to make you rich. I started this channel because I'm getting tired of all those YouTubers out there shilling every week 10, 20, 30, 50 different coins, telling us that they will all explode within the next days or weeks. Most of these are actually simple pump and dump schemes or big time promotions. Please note that I'm not providing any investment advice here, and as such you should not take it as an investment advice. Please invest at your own risk. So I chose to make a video to take a deep dive in one of the real altcoin gems out there. So the altcoin that I bet on is Wabi. Wabi is a real project that is mainly active in the Japanese and Chinese region for now, with an insane potential to actually expand into other markets and industries. Wabi basically rewards consumers for their active participation when it comes to collecting user information. Now imagine you buy your shampoo at your local store. If you pay with your credit card, it's the credit card company collecting your user information and then selling it to whoever wants to use it or whoever wants to pay real money for it. You don't know any about that. You don't get any rewards for that. And if you participate in some kind of strange rewards program, that rewards program will sell that information for a huge price. The point is, you don't see any of that profit, and the company producing that product has to pay a significant fee to the credit company in order to get that information, in case they would like to know more about a customer. Wabi solves this problem by incentivizing the consumer to share their information, like how satisfied is she or her with the product, where did she buy it, how often does she use it, etc. The consumer then gets rewarded with Wabis and can spend them later. And I think that's actually a huge point, considering the valuation of Wabi tokens. All Wabis that have been rewarded but not spent yet are being kept out of the active circulation and therefore increasing the value of that token. And as you can see here, the amount of Wabi locked in consumer wallet is constantly increasing. By the end of 2020, the tokens locked in consumer wallets exceeded 3.5 million. The same is true for the number of users participation and the transactions made with Wabi. That's what you want to see when you invest in your crypto project. You want to see that people are actually using it and that the number of people using it is increasing by a huge margin. And here you have such a huge margin. You have an operating business with a significant growing curve. The website will actually give you tons of information about the project, and so does the official Twitter and Telegram accounts. Wabi has partnerships with some of the biggest brand names out there, and they just closed another one, which I will talk about later in this video. Wabi is already listed on Binance.com, and it's currently priced around 76 cents with a market cap of just about $75 million, which is ridiculously low for a project like that. I mean, there are coins out there with a market cap in the billions, and let's be honest, most of us still haven't figured out how they ever want to justify that market cap. I mean, I read the white papers of some of those coins, and everybody can write a white paper. The question is, what's happening next? Plus, we all know what happens to a coin that's being pumped by a lot when the market crashes. So you have a much higher chance to recover your money when you actually invest into a coin with a real operating project behind. The other great thing about the Wabi coin at the moment is its momentum. It seems that it's being recognized more and more in the crypto market, and it's set to literally explode in the near future. That's a point in time when you want to join a project like that. The earlier you are, the higher the chances to make some real money, and the greater your buffer in case it dips when the market dips. And the market will dip at some point, so you better are invested in a project that has the opportunity or the chance to recover, because it's actually a worthwhile project. Like I said, it is already listed on Binance.com and several small exchanges, and I also saw it on Uniswap. I don't think I need to tell you what's going to happen if that coin is listed to Pancake, Binance.us, and other exchanges. I mean, imagine at some point it would be listed on Coinbase. That thing will go through the roof, and for a good reason. When you do your due diligence, always make sure you check out the team. Find the team members and check their LinkedIn profiles. Take a look at their CV and their experience in the market, and also check out the advisors, not only the operating team. But just be cautious about it. Don't take that as the only measure to basically do your due diligence on a team, because in some regions like Western Europe and US, people are usually a lot more outgoing when it comes to their LinkedIn profile. They're going to list every single experience they have. In other regions in the world, people are a little bit more, shy, or a little bit, they don't really want to share all of their experience. Now, Talpay is part of Wabi's ecosystem. So whenever you read about Talpay, you're basically talking about Wabi. Another good hint about the team's commitment is the time they already spent on the project. A guy who invested several years of his lifetime into a project like that after the ICO seems to be more committed than a founder who left the ship right after he got his coins. And some of those team members of Wabi have worked for that project for 7 years or even longer. I actually think that the weakest point of this project is probably the marketing here. I have no clue what that head of marketing with the name of Kitty is doing. She didn't even mention the project on her LinkedIn page, or at least I didn't see it. And also the official LinkedIn page doesn't seem to be updated very often. But that might also have something to do with the focus of the team. And I personally much rather invest in a project that has a working product and still lacks in marketing than the other way around. Like I said, the momentum is there and the product works. On the other side, their website is actually great. And I mentioned the Teltech part already, where they offer selected products and track the consumer's response through the various social media channels. It seems to me that the Teltech channel is basically some kind of a sandbox where big brands can test out several of their projects before they dive into the whole Wabi ecosystem. So yeah, they can track the consumer response through various social media channels, like social media mentions on platforms like WeChat, Weibo, which are some of the biggest platforms in the world. So go check it out. It's definitely worth taking the time before you put a chunk of money into a crypto project like that. Also read about their ecosystem in general. An incredibly useful part of this is the traceability and trust that Weibo implements, and that the consumer and the producer can establish by either scanning an NFC label or a barcode. The information that the consumer gets can range from, for example, the manufacturer's product safety violations records to what ingredients are in the product, or some kind of ingredient safety analysis, or some real product reviews. So next time you buy a product for yourself or your kid, you have a tool to check if there are any hazardous ingredients in it. Then the manufacturer in return gets some in-depth and first-hand information about its consumers through their scan history and the preferences that the consumer picked. And honestly, manufacturers should be more than willing to pay for this kind of information. As a manufacturer, you pay hefty fees to Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and so on to get to know your very own customers. That's a multi-billion, if not multi-trillion-dollar market. And Wabi basically allows them to skip those moochers and receive that information firsthand from their customers. So Wabi in some way establishes a direct connection between the manufacturer and the consumer. There's actually a lot more here which I won't explain in detail, like ad optimization, market research, and brand protection. But again, do it yourself. It's a real interesting read here. Another thing to mention here is the fact that the vast majority of Wabi token holders are actually participating in the Earn Rewards program. Meanwhile, only a small minority is simply holding the token as an asset. And again, I think that's a huge point. You want to have people actually using your product. The more the better. And the fact that really the vast majority is really participating in this program is a great sign. So the total token supply is around 100 million. And the token is based on the Ethereum ECR20 protocol. I can stress enough how important it is to read through projects documentation and information before you invest. That's what I do on a daily basis, and that's how I found this gem. So do the same and you'll get your return eventually. Now let's have a look at their roadmap. Their achievements in 2020 was really impressive, but the real big things are coming in 2021. For example, their cooperation with one of the biggest department stores in Japan, their content stream on TikTok, and especially their open consumer platform where brands operating in China can add Wabis tracking codes on their products, and consumers can then scan these codes with the WeChat app. So basically, you as a manufacturer, you slap a Wabi tracking code on your product. The consumer comes, uses the WeChat app that they already use, and get Wabi points the moment they register. And just to give you a glimpse of what you can expect for the future of this coin, Japan's Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries announced that it will form a consortium with Teltec and the sake brewery to set up a cold chain logistics for the export of Japanese sake to China. They basically aim to use Wabi's technology in order to improve the temperature controls during the export to China. They apparently seem to have had like some problems that by the time the sake arrived from from Japan to China, the sake was getting too hot, too warm, whatever, and it didn't taste like it should have tasted before. I'll post the link below. It's a short mention in the media, but it's a really important one in my mind. So yeah, that's it. That's a coin. That's a project that is actually worth talking about, in my opinion, unlike a lot of other projects on YouTube. I plan to actually make another video in case I'll find another gem like that, but it might take a while. So those kind of altcoins are pretty rare out there. So if you want to be the first to know, in case I find another one, then subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up and comment in the comment section. That's going to trigger the YouTube algorithms spreading this video. And honestly, I think that kind of project is definitely worth spreading, and that's something that we would all benefit from in the end. See you next time around. Bye.